User Kerry Ann Young asked about a dog leash tutorial. To make this, we're going to need about 2 meters of rope, and we're going to need a snap or carabiner. We're going to need some strong twine, and we're going to need some smaller diameter cordage to tie this Turk's head. Okay, we're going to start off by tying the handle, and we'll do that by taking the end of our rope and feeding out probably 1/2 meter or so. Just placing it over our hands and behind our middle finger, and then just feeding out a bit of a loop here at the top. That's going to be our handle. And then on the right hand side, I just want to form an overhand loop. And then give that a half twist away from me. And then this bit that's lying underneath, I just want to pull through that loop, just a little section, to form another loop. And then with the left hand side, go underneath and then through that loop. If I gently tease this together, I should end up with something that looks like a pretzel. So you should end up with that shape. There should be a loop at the top. Now the left hand strand here, I want to go around the knot underneath this section, then up through this center diamond. Around, up through the center diamond, just hold that in place. And then I want to do the same with the other side. Around the whole knot. And then up through that center diamond. Pull it through. And now I just want to grab that short end and the long end on this side, and then the loop side, and pull. And there we should have our diamond knot, and we just need to tighten that right down. So we're going to have to feed slack all the way through that loop, and I'm going to do that first by shortening this tag end because I don't want it so long. So I'll just shorten that down and then feed slack all the way through the knot. And now I've gotten to the loop size, and it's a little bit large. I want it a little bit smaller, so I'm just going to feed slack through the other side and make this loop a little bit smaller than this. That's about the size I want, and then just continue feeding that slack all the way through. So to attach the rope to the snap, all we're going to do is feed the rope through the end here, fold it over on itself like that, and we are going to tie a constrictor knot around both these sections with this smaller twine. So I'm just going to show you how to tie the constrictor knot with something a little bit larger and over a larger object, so you can more clearly see how it's tied. And we just start off with a clove hitch. We'll do that by coming around the object and forming an X, and then tucking it up through and parallel to this strand here. So that's a clove hitch. And now I just want to tuck it in underneath this right hand strand from right to left. Tuck it in there and then just tug on it. So that's your constrictor hitch there, or constrictor knot. So when we tie these constrictor knots, we want to get the knot pretty close to the end here of the rope, and we want to keep this loop quite small. We have to tie the end of this constrictor knots close to the edge so we can cover them up with our Turk's head finally. And to tighten them up, you can use 2 pairs of pliers and just grip the string and then really pull on it. So I ended up tying 3 constrictor knots all next to each other here so that this loop holds nice and tight, and it's right close to the edge here so that we can get this covered easily by our Turk's head, which is coming up next. To tie this Turk's head, I'm using about 1.20 m of 3mm utility cord, and I'm going to tie this around my fingers. And the way we're going to do that is just start by placing it over your fingers and then come around and then to your left to form an X, right around. So we have this X here. Then I want to tuck this tag end underneath this top right hand strand here. Just tuck that under. So the shape should look like that. Then I want to curl my fingers over towards me to get to the other side. You should have two parallel strands. Just want to cross them over. The right over the left. And then with my other end, I just want to come in underneath and through that eye. So it goes under and then over. And pull that all the way through. Once I've pulled that through, I can come back to the other side where I started. And then, again with my working end, I just want to come in where this one started and run it exactly parallel and next to it. And follow it exactly. It goes under here, so I want to go under as well. Pull that all the way through. And there we have our first pass done, and we have to do 3 passes for this Turk's head. So I'm going to just take it off my fingers now, gently, and then follow this strand exactly the way we find it around this knot. So wherever it goes under, we go under, and wherever it goes over, we go over. And make sure it stays exactly parallel too. So we just follow this strand right around 3 times. And if you find this a little bit awkward to do in your hand, you can also do this around a cylinder, around a pipe, or around a toilet roll, or any cylindrical object. So once you have the 3 passes done, what you want to do is slide that over your snap gently, and then over these constrictor knots that you want to hide. And now we just have to tighten this whole thing down, and the secret to getting this tight is just to be really patient with it and tighten it down just a little bit at a time. If you have to take 4 or 5 goes at tightening this down just bit by bit, then it's better to do it that way than have the knot get tangled and then you have to start all over again. So I'm just going to work from one end of this rope all the way around 3 times, just tightening a little bit the first time, and then I'm going to tighten a little bit again, and then a little bit more each time I go around. As you get towards the end of tightening your knot, you want to get this knot pretty tight so it doesn't slide around, and you're going to probably need some sort of pricker to get it really tight. I'm just using a skewer. You can use whatever you've got handy. You can use a knitting needle or a piece of wire, anything, but you just need to get in underneath these strands as you work your way right around the knot, just to pull out this slack. Done.